On the news, over 7,000 security officials deployed to Maiduguri, Borno State after multiple explosion kills 6. President Buhari reacts to southern Kaduna killings, charged security agencies to do better. And Hong Kong postpones parliamentary elections by 1 year over worsening coronavirus cases. You're welcome to News Now with Fidelia Aguncha. 6 people have now died from the multiple bomb explosions carried out by suspected Boko Haram insurgents in Maiduguri, Borno State capital. The State Police Commissioner Mohammed Aliyu, who revealed this, said the number of injured persons has also increased to 27. He attributed the rise to discovery of more bodies by emergency officials. Aliyu says the victims include 1 female at Gwange 2 and 5 others who were hit by the explosives in separate locations within the city. He said following the incident, the command in collaboration with other security agencies have deployed a total of 7,000 personnel to secure the entire city for the Eid-el-Kabir celebration in order to prevent a breach of peace. Gunmen suspected to be insurgent had on Thursday fired 4 mortars in the city as Muslim faithful in the town were making preparation for the Eid-el-Kabir festival. Well, it's still sad news in Niger State, where 4 people have lost their lives in an accident that occurred on Lambata-Mina Road on Friday. Confirming the incident, the State Federal Road Safety Corps Commander, Drell Dagwa, said 6 other persons sustained various degrees of injuries in the incident. He said the crash, which occurred as a result of speed violation, involved a Mazda car and an articulated vehicle. According to him, the truck was carrying cosmetics from Lagos to Kano, while the Mazda car was overloaded with 8 passengers. The sector commander has now advised motorists to exercise caution and adhere strictly to speed limits to avoid crashes. President Muhammadu Buhari has charged the military and other security outfits to do better in handling the insecurity in the northeast and northwest of the country. Buhari also charged public office holders to carry out their duties with integrity and honesty. He was reacting to the recent attacks in southern Kaduna and the corruption scandal rocking the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission and the Niger Delta Development Commission (NDDC). Buhari was speaking after observing Eid prayers at the presidential villa in Abuja on Friday.
In the Eid-el-Kabir sermon, the Imam has said it all. We want security, prosperity, and well-being of all Nigerians. And I want Nigerians to be very conscious of their country and what we inherited when we came 2015 was Boko Haram northeast and the militants in the south. Nigerians know that we have done our best. What is coming up in northwest and north central is very, very disturbing indeed. But I believe the military and the police and other law enforcement agencies could do much better. But we are keeping them on the alert all the time to do their duties. There has been abuse of trust by people trusted by the previous administration and this administration. A number of assets have been recovered and some money, but we have introduced TSA, Treasury Single Account, where all the monies are taken. And I said assets should be sold and the money be put through TSA, Treasury Single Account, so that it can be identified at any level. And I will see who will come after us and take it back again to those who misappropriate public funds.
Meanwhile, the Kaduna State Police Commissioner, Umar Muri, has deployed more policemen to the southern part of the state to stop further killings in the area. The extra police officers were deployed to 5 local government areas. including Kajuru, Zangotafe, Kara, Karu, and Jema. Muri said the deployment was part of efforts towards restoring law and order in the troubled part of the state. The action follows the order of the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, that the Kaduna CP deploy more personnel in addition to the ones on ground. Still on security crisis in southern Kaduna, Governor Nasir El-Rufai has linked the attacks in that part of the state to banditry. No fewer than 40 people have been killed in the past 1 month by unknown gunmen who have been attacking various communities in the region. But El-Rufai says Kaduna is not the only state facing security challenges, explaining that Northwest and Northeast have been battling similar situations. Speaking during a TV interview, El-Rufai claimed that the crisis have gained much attention due to the injection of ethnic and religious connotations. The president-elect of the Nigerian Bar Association, Olumide Akpata, has described his election as a victory for young lawyers. Akpata emerged winner of the NBA presidential poll conducted electronically between 11 p.m. on Wednesday and 11 p.m. on Thursday. With 9,891 votes, Akpata defeated two senior advocates of Nigeria, Babatunde Ajibade and Dele Adesina, who polled 4,328 and 3,982 votes respectively. Akpata, however, said there was a need for improvement in the NBA electoral process, promising to see to such improvement during his 2-year tenure. He has now set a record as the first NBA president without a senior advocate of Nigeria title. Well, let's take a break here, but still to come. WHO says young people responsible for worsening COVID-19 cases in some countries. These and more when we return.
Now, yeah?
Yes, Oga.
Okay.
Where I go come find 300 naira change?
I better try look for change now. Don't they do business? Hey, Timmy. Ade, bro. I be. I beg, give me 200 naira. Make I take sort out this guy. If let's say no get change.
Take it, give us.
I said 200.
Give her 100 naira.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree to pay 200 naira.
How much you think they carry people from that place we carry on the chair?
Oga.
No, they touch me.
Now 100 naira. He agreed to pay.
Because that was what you said was the fair.
Why you not go pay you? Why you they extort your customer? You see this corruption, what would they hear for news? They see for people everywhere. Now it be this one. This is corruption.
Not in our country.
Corruption not in my country.
Stop corruption now.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, here are some of our top stories tonight. 6 people have now died from the multiple bomb explosion carried out by suspected Boko Haram insurgents in Maiduguri, Borno State capital. The State Police Commissioner Mohammed Aliyu, who revealed this, said the number of injured persons has also increased to 27. Meanwhile, over 7,000 security personnel have been deployed to the city to prevent further breach of peace. President Muhammadu Buhari has charged the military and other security outfits to do better in handling the insecurity in the northeast and northwest of the country. The president, who made the comment after observing Eid prayers at the presidential villa in Abuja, also urged public office holders to carry out their duties with integrity and honesty. President-elect of the Nigerian Bar Association, Olumide Akpata, has described his election as a victory for young lawyers. Akpata emerged winner of the NBA presidential poll after garnering over 9,800 votes. He becomes the first NBA president without a senior advocate of Nigeria title.
Kevin. Alpha, say tomorrow still day on.
What's your tomorrow?
Community meeting now.
You know they hear Abi?
Na beggy. See, If we meet for my house, inside parlor, then go no. This COVID-19 is not a child's play. If we want to elect a new secretary, we fit to do one for WhatsApp or for Skype or even on Zoom. Or we just wait. I will not negotiate this social distancing. It is non-negotiable.
Not every infected person shows symptoms, but every infected person is contagious. Avoid large gatherings and self-isolate if you think you might have come in contact with a carrier. Your safety and the safety of others is in your hands.
This message is from the Akinfade Foundation in partnership with the National Orientation Agency with support from MacArthur Foundation.
We begin our COVID-19 coverage in Ogun State, where the government has directed all secondary school teachers to resume on Monday, August 3rd, ahead of the West Africa Senior Secondary Schools examination scheduled for August 17. The special advisor to the governor on primary and secondary education, Ronke Shoyombo, gave this directive in Abeokuta on Friday. Shoyombo quoted Governor Dakwa Abiodun of Ogun State as saying that the aim was to enable the teachers work with their principals in preparation for student resumption on August 4th. He adds that all guidelines stipulated by the government for the student resumption were to be followed strictly by all school administrators. Amid strict COVID-19 restrictions, Muslims across the world are celebrating the Eid-el-Kabir festival. With 42,689 confirmed coronavirus cases, Nigeria has restricted large gatherings in social religious places, with many marking the festival behind closed doors. Our correspondent Adeshawa Odushoga in this next report finds out how families and Muslim clerics are celebrating despite the pandemic.
This is what the celebration of the Eid-el-Adha festival used to look like before the pandemic. Friends and family would often come together in an open ground, dressed in their best attires, exchanging pleasantries to perform prayers in unison. But now, things have changed since the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, which has led to loss of lives and left millions of people on sick bed. Many Muslims faithful have now embraced the pray at home slogan as they celebrate the festival in a low key. One of such persons is Wise Abubakar, a family man based in Abuja, the Nigeria's capital.
I used to go with my wife and my children to the Eid ground, but since in Abuja, the FCT minister said we should pray at the Jumaat mosque. That means we cannot carry our entire families because the Jumaat mosque is not so big. Most of them, if you look at Eid used to be prayed in a very large open place which it can contain so many people. But now only limited people will be able to attend. When we finish, we'll come back, we distribute the meat, we'll slaughter the ram, give it to the needy. Those who are unable to slaughter ram, there are a lot of them. Those who cannot even travel to their places, there are the needy, the less privileged. And then we stay at home, eat and enjoy the Eid, no visitation. We are not visiting anybody, we are not going anywhere. And I am not expecting anyone to come to my house because of the issue of COVID-19.
The pandemic has no doubt had its effect on the disposable income of an average Nigerian, and the effect of these is seen in the purchase of livestock animals such as ram, which is often slaughtered as a symbol of Eid celebrations. As the traders decry low patronage, buyers are simply cutting down their cost, celebrating in a low key.
Nobody is happy with the situation we find ourselves. We have double problems or double challenge. One is COVID-19. Two is the issue of the economic situation of the country, whereby more people that used to buy ram this time around, they just can't afford it because the price has skyrocketed.
Market thank God. Our market is no more. Now ram too cost. Because what did they call you? Coronavirus. Go north, no work. Well, go. So market. Go market, buy a 2. Go market, buy a 3. Jonah, carry on for Lagos.
As one of the traditions in Islam during the Eid-el-Adha festival, the Imam who led the Eid prayers is usually the first to slaughter the ram on the Eid ground, while the followers follow suit in their respective homes. With these being ruled out this year, the cleric has this to say.
If you are far away from such gathering and you can't have an imam to follow his own slaughtering, you are now required to estimate that if it is under circumstance by this hour, the imam have slaughtered, therefore I will slaughter my own. That is the ruling. In other words, you are to estimate the closest place to you. If it were on normal Eid, they could have finished their own slaughtering. So that is the time you will slaughter your own. And that is the ruling.
The coronavirus pandemic did not only affect the celebration of Eid-el-Adha for many Muslims across the world. It has also barred many prospective pilgrims from participating in the annual Hajj pilgrimage to Mecca, as the country trims the number of allowed pilgrims from millions to 10,000. Adisha Wodushoga, TV360, Abuja.
The federal government has received the second batch of medical supplies worth 26 billion naira from the European Union and the United Nations. A statement by spokesperson, Federal Ministry of Health, Olujimi Oyetomi, disclosed that the national coordinator of the Presidential Task Force, Sani Aliyu, and the Ministry of Health, Osagi Ehanire, received the commodities at the cargo section of the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport in Abuja. The items, which include 500,000 face shields, 200,000 goggles, biohazard bags and safety boxes, were purchased with UN basket funds for COVID-19 response. Last month, the federal government received the first batch of medical supplies worth $22 million from the EU and UN. Nigeria currently has 42,698 confirmed COVID-19 cases, of which 19,270 have recovered. Sadly, 878 related deaths have so far been recorded. Some women alleged to be Nigerians stranded in Lebanon have appealed to the federal government to evacuate them from the Western Asia country. The women, numbering about 30, made the plea in a short video message released on social media. The stranded women said they regret going to the country and would love to return home. The development is coming weeks after the federal government evacuated 50 Nigerians stranded in Lebanon. A travel ban imposed by various countries to stop further spread of the novel coronavirus has left thousands of people stranded, with many unsure of how to get back home. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson has halted plans to ease restrictions in England for another 2 weeks due to a surge in COVID-19 infections. The government had hoped to reopen a number of high-risk settings in England from August 1st, but Prime Minister Boris Johnson announced at a Downing Street press conference on Friday that the changes have now been postponed for at least a fortnight. This comes after millions in northern England face new restrictions after a spike in cases. Under the new rules, the use of face covering is being extended to new indoor settings, including museums and places of worship. The Hong Kong government has postponed September's parliamentary election by a year, saying it is necessary amid rising coronavirus infections. Chief Executive Carrie Lam said she would invoke emergency powers to postpone the polls, adding that it is entirely based on public safety reasons and not political considerations. Hong Kong is currently experiencing a spike in COVID-19 infections, with 121 new cases reported on Friday. However, the opposition has accused the government of using the pandemic as a pretext to stop people from voting. Opposition activists had hoped to obtain a majority in the Legislative Council in the poll, capitalizing on anger by Beijing's imposition of a controversial national security law in Hong Kong. The World Health Organization says the spike in coronavirus cases in some countries were being driven by young people letting down their guard. Director General of the organization, Tedros Ghebreyesus, while addressing a virtual news conference in Geneva, said younger people are at risk too, and they must take the same precautions to protect themselves.
One of the challenges we face is convincing younger people of this risk. Evidence suggested that spikes of cases in some countries are being driven in part by younger people letting down their guard during the Northern Hemisphere summer. We have said it before, and we will say it again. Young people are not invincible. Young people can be infected. Young people can die. And young people can transmit the virus to others. That's why young people must take the same precautions to protect themselves and protect others as everyone else. They can be leaders. They should be leaders and drivers of change.
We'll take a break here to bring you business stories and more. Welcome back. Let's now turn to Oyin Adekunle for business news.
Thank you very much, Fidelia, and welcome to the business side of the news. Nigeria's external reserve fell by $673.13 million in 2 months. Latest figures from the Central Bank of Nigeria reveals that the country's external reserve stood at $35.89 billion on June 28th from $36.57 billion on June 1st. The Apex Bank has also said the gross external reserves fell in the first quarter of 2020 to $33.69 billion at the end of March 2020, indicating a net decrease of 11.6% compared with the level in the fourth quarter of 2019. The CBN Governor Godwin Emefiele at the last Monetary Policy Committee meeting reiterated the need for the government to urgently reduce its reliance on oil revenue by gradually diversifying the economy and improving tax collection. The federal government has inaugurated an auto gas and natural gas vehicles committee with the aim to drive the adoption of gas as an alternative fuel for vehicles in Nigeria. According to the government, the auto gas vehicles would be powered by liquefied petroleum gas, while those grouped as natural gas vehicles would use compressed natural gas as alternative fuel. These were contained in a document put together during a meeting between the Committee of the National Gas Expansion Program and stakeholders in the oil and gas industry. The NGEP was inaugurated by the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timothy Silva, in January 2020 to boost domestic utilization of natural gas in the short and medium term. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has dismissed reports that some of its senior officials sold 48 million barrels of crude oil to China in 2015. The said deal was reportedly exposed by a whistleblower whose life was threatened after giving information that led to the recovery of the crude oil. But in a statement, counsel to the NNPC, Afe Babalola, said the operations and state of the international crude oil market in 2015 would have made it impossible for the country to ship 48 million barrels of crude oil to China without any record. He added that as of 2015, the daily production of crude oil in Nigeria was below 1.6 million barrels. Oil prices rose on Friday, recovering further ground after touching 3-week lows in the previous session, hit by a record decline in U.S. growth as the coronavirus ravaged the world's biggest economy and oil consumer. Brent crude was up by 40 cents at $43.34 a barrel, while U.S. crude gained 35 cents to $40.27 a barrel. Both benchmarks recovering from lows not seen since July 10. That leaves Brent on track for a fourth month of gains, while U.S. crude is heading heading for a third consecutive month of increases as the contracts have recovered from the depths reached in April when much of the world was on lockdown. And that's it from business. It's back to you now, Fidelia.
Thank you very much, Oyin, for that update. No fewer than 12 people have been killed, with 9 others injured after a drunken soldier went on a shooting rampage in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The Congolese government, who confirmed the incident, said security services are conducting a search for the gunman in the city of Sangay, where the shooting took place. President Felix Tshisekedi called the attack a heinous crime and offered his condolences to the victims' families. Congo's vast army is widely seen as poorly trained and unprofessional, and its personnel are frequently accused of committing crimes against civilians. Talking sports now, Victor Osimhen has officially joined Napoli on a 5-year contract. The club's president, who announced the move, also revealed that the goalkeeper Orestes Cremers is moving to Lille as part of the deal. The 21-year-old Super Eagles striker becomes one of the most expensive African players of all times, with a 60 million euros deal. Meanwhile, Liverpool chief executive Peter Moore is set to step down at the end of August after 3 years with the Premier League club. He will be replaced by Billy Hogan, who is currently the club's managing director and chief commercial officer. Well, that's it on News Now. Many thanks for joining us. Happy Eid celebration to our Muslim viewers.